Are you ready?
I'm ready, I think.
No,
We're ready.
You're ready.
Yeah. Just cut out any awkward pauses or save them for the blooper reel.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to get through it as much as I can, and then if I stop or if I sound weird, just tell me. What's up, everybody? My name is Sofia, and welcome to the Slumber Party. I'm so excited. This is going to be such a good time. Obviously, I'm in front of the camera, but I also have my producer, Walter from WA Hooper Marketing, behind the camera. So if you hear someone interjecting, it's him. But a little bit about me. I am a CEO, a small business owner. I am an entrepreneur. I'm an actor, a singer. I'm an endless multi-hyphenate. But at the end of the day, most importantly, I'm a 23-year-old teenager, and I'm just a girl. So that's the most important thing. The second most important thing, I just want to get this out of the way really quick. So if you are listening to this or if you are watching this, hate watching, or if you're like, oh my God, I'm going to cringe at whatever this bitch is saying, I'm going to say, do both of us the hugest fucking favor and get out. Leave the mean girl energy at the door. We are not about that right here. Please don't waste your precious time on me. Go touch grass. Go do something else. I love you. I wish nothing but the best for you, but please, this is a safe space, so we're leaving our Regina George getting hit by a bus energy at the door.
Wow.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that because I feel like maybe people are like, oh, she seems so stupid. Oh, she's starting a podcast.
I
girl,
love it.
Don't waste your fucking time.
I love
Anyway, back to it. I also want to address, I am a CEO. I am an entrepreneur. I am all of these things. I'm also not perfect. I'm literally just a girl at my core. And I think when people say oh, I'm going to start a podcast, they think that they have to be an authority on something. Not to say that I don't know anything, but I also think that part of the reason why I wanted to start this podcast, which I have a little story to tell later too about that, is because I am literally just a girl. And I feel like we need more of that. We need more girls just yapping on the mic. But in all seriousness, I think we need someone who's going to be real in this culture of hustle and perfection and social perfectionism and social media, just all of the things that we're bombarded with every day. I think we need a little dose of reality and a little bit of just being fucking real. I am not perfect. I'm literally just a girl, but I want to give this space and I want to uplift some amazing guests that we're going to have on this show. I'm so excited, but I want to give them a platform to also be real. And a little background about this podcast. It is called The Slumber Party. So we are in our little cozy clothes. I have lots of cute little pajama sets that will be shown in future episodes. It was inspired by 3 a.m. thoughts. So you are at a slumber party, you're in middle school or whatever it is with your girls. Suddenly it's the middle of the night and you're all getting really real. Maybe you're crying. Maybe there's shit that's going on in your life that you would never open up about unless it was 3 a.m. in this very specific moment. I think that's kind of the vibe that I wanted to give, is girl talk. This is our space. So we're just going to talk about shit. We're just going to leave our mean girl energy at the door. We're going to be non-judgmental. We listen and we don't judge. We're going to have a really, really great time. So I'm really excited. I'm so thankful to Walter for actually pushing me to start this podcast. It's been a really, really long time, since this was introduced to me. And I kept saying no. I was you know what? I feel like it's not the right time. But at the end of the day, I think there is no right time. The best time to plant a tree was yesterday or was 100 years ago. The next best time is right now. So I feel that old, whatever the fuck that is, but it feels like this is something that I just need to start. And I've been thinking about it. I've been soul searching about it. I've been pondering, but I think this really is going to be something that hopefully a lot of people connect with, and hopefully that will just bring us a little bit closer in this age of the internet. So kind of talking about going into the hustle culture. So Walter and I have a mutual friend. He's very lovely. Shout out Zach. Love him. Cannot stress that enough. He's a great guy. 6 or 7 months ago, or last summer, before we opened, also we're at the beautiful Storybook Boutique. This is my space. that we share with the lawn next door in Grosse Pointe. But it was before we opened our storefront, which is this space. I went on his podcast, which is called Hustle State of Mind. So as the name implies, it's for small business owners. It's for people who are hustling, who are really getting shit done. So I went on that, and to be honest, like, Walter is lovely and he recommended me, which is very nice of him. A lot of people see me as like, oh, she must be a fucking hustler. Like, she's got 2 businesses, like she's a professional actor, like she's, you know, doing all the things, or at least it appears that she's doing all the things. But I went on his podcast. He was filming a couple different episodes at a time. So I was just kind of chilling, waiting for my turn. But there was a woman on the podcast who was the episode before me. Lovely, by the way. No tea, no shade. Love her. But the topic of that episode was, like, obviously being a hustler. Like, what does your day-to-day look like? You know, you're a professional, you're a business owner. I believe she was a business owner. But she started with, oh, I wake up at 5 a.m. Like, I have a whole day before my day even starts. I'm going to the gym. I'm meditating. I'm doing all these things. And then my day starts at like 8 a.m. And I was like, oh, shit. I was sitting there literally in this fucking room, like, and I'm about to go after this bitch. Like, me who's like, yeah, I'm depressed and I'm lucky if I roll out of bed before 9. Like, that was crazy. But thinking like that, I was like, God, do I deserve to be on this fucking pocket? Like, do I deserve to have a platform? Or like, do people even, who the fuck would want to hear what I have to say? I don't wake up at 5 a.m. I don't go to the gym that often. Like, I'm the furthest thing from what this lady was. And again, good for you, girl. I love that for you. And not to say that we can't all be like aspirational and have goals, but I thought about it. And I also talked to Jewel Holman, who is incredible. Shout out Jewel. I really want to have her as a guest on the podcast because she has changed my life in the way that I think about things. I kind of thought about, like, okay, I'm sitting here feeling intimidated, just listening to this lady, like, say what the fuck she does all day. And it kind of made me feel like, do I deserve to be called a hustler? Do I deserve all of this success that I've had? But I really thought about, well, if I'm sitting here, what the fuck do these people who are listening to it think? Like, they must also be feeling something similar, even if it is motivating or whatever. Like, there is a little piece of you that's like, oh shit, I don't do that. Like, what the fuck? But I also kind of had to reframe it as like, yes, I don't do that. Just straight up. I probably will never be a 5 a.m. girly. I'm so sorry. But I am still a successful business owner. I run 2 businesses. I manage a team of 20 people. I am a professional actor. I'm auditioning. I'm hustling. And people need to also hear that you can be all those things. You can be successful, even if you're not waking up at 5 a.m. and being the traditional, like, vision of what we think a successful entrepreneur or a successful hustler is. Basically, the whole point of this is, I think it's just as important to hear people say, I'm a normal fucking person, but I'm still successful, and you can be too. There really is no roadmap for every single person to success. For me, it's not waking up at 5 a.m. It's not, but somehow everything is getting done, and it's getting done pretty well, I would like to think. But maybe for someone, it is getting up at 5 a.m. and making sure they have that time before they start their day. That's okay. But I think, and maybe I'm telling on myself, maybe this is my algorithm, I think it's kind of being pushed down our throats that we have to be perfect. We have to be a certain way. This, like, might get ready with me 5 a.m. routine, my 4 a.m. routine. Like, girl, can we put it away for like just 2 seconds? Go back to bed. Oh my God. I think this whole podcast, the whole like moral of this story is, I'm just a girl, but I think we need more of this. We need more just normal ass people doing normal ass things. So that's what I'm here to do. I don't really have makeup on. I literally just put some mascara and some lip balm on, and we're here just in our comfy little clothes. I got my little comfort set, and we're talking to the camera. We're having a good time. That's the goal. It's not to be something that we're not. It's not to push this like CEO lifestyle entrepreneur or whatever the fuck. Like, we're here to just be real. We're here to be girls. Not to say that Walter is not welcome, but Walter is one of the honorary girls, I guess. So
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Anytime. But I think there's something to be said for the purpose of this, as it's not, you know, I'm not going to motivate you to change your entire life. If anything, I'm going to motivate you to appreciate the way that you're existing now. And that's also a future episode. But one of the things I really wanted to touch on in this first episode is something called imposter syndrome. So a lot of women have imposter syndrome, which if you don't know what that is, it basically means like your brain kind of tells you that you aren't deserving of all the successes that you've had. It happens like it happened to like Albert Einstein or just like all of these, you know, like really famous people who have done great things. But I think it disproportionately affects women and other marginalized groups. Look it up. I swear I'm not just talking on my ass. But as women, why the fuck are we not being told that we can celebrate our accomplishments and celebrate the way that we are now? I also feel imposter syndrome all the time. I feel like I'm not deserving of my success, but why is that? Why the fuck is that? Is it because I constantly see people say, I wake up at 5 a.m., I do this, this, and this, so they must be successful, but I'm not because I can't do that, or I don't do that. I have no plans to do that. And there was a video that I had watched about imposter syndrome not too long ago, just to prepare to talk on this topic. And they had said the way that there isn't like a cure for imposter syndrome, but the way that we kind of combat these thoughts is by talking about it. Straight up. Like, that's it. That's the secret sauce. And I think in the age of social media, in the age of putting on this front that everything needs to be perfect, we are essentially fostering this imposter syndrome in our peers, in ourselves, because we don't, basically as humans, we have this thing where we think that like we're the only ones who feel a certain way and everyone else is doing great, everyone else must be doing better than me. But deep down, we all have those thoughts of like, shit, like I don't know if I'm good enough, or like I feel like, you know, so-and-so is like, she just got a promotion, or she just bought a house, or she just got married, and like everyone's doing so much better than me, but I must be the only one who thinks this way. Like everyone else is doing fine. But the way that we kind of combat this is by saying how it is. We're not all doing fine. We all, to some extent, feel that we're behind in life. Even if you're 23 fucking years old, I constantly feel like I'm behind in life. So stupid. Topic for another episode. But if we actually were honest about like, hey, I'm kind of having a rough time right now, or like just existing right now is kind of hard. Like that kind of sucks. I think if we actually were more open about the way that we feel, we could maybe not eradicate, but we could really put a dent in these feelings that a lot of people feel, especially when it comes to work or relationships or social media or whatever. I think we just need a little bit more brutal honesty. And I'm a victim of this too. Not necessarily victim. I'm perpetuating this too. Let's be fucking clear. I do not post. I think my Facebook page, like if anyone is friends with me on Facebook, this is the fucking worst interpretation of my life I've ever seen, because it's only sharing the good moments. It's only like, you know, for my network or for colleagues or whatever. I do not share, you know, like literally we just had a giant holiday event at the Townsend Hotel. It was beautiful, but I shared this wonderful post about how much I loved it, which is true, but I didn't share the sleepless nights I spent wondering if we were going to make these ticket sales happen, wondering if, you know, how the fuck am I going to lead 20 people through a 2-day event? How am I going to impress these people who paid thousands of dollars to be here? Like, all of these thoughts that I feel inadequate about, I didn't fucking share. But all that Facebook saw, all that Instagram saw was what a lovely event. It was so sweet, and I love my team, which is all true. But you don't see the flip side. And I think if someone were to just look at that, they'd think, oh, God, well, she has her shit together. Girl, no, I don't. I was absolutely a wreck. I literally call it my Princess Holiday Breakfast brain rot because I have it without fail for 4 years running. I am such a mess before these events. But it's also like the biggest just front that I put up is that, oh, everything was beautiful and blah, blah, blah. It was beautiful, but there was a lot going on behind the scenes that nobody saw. Not even my admin team has seen all of it. But like my managers have a better idea of what actually happens. But, you know, still it's like you would never know. So I'm perpetuating that too. But I think especially as women who are business owners, women who are professionals, that is killer because comparison is always the thief of joy, but comparing yourself to someone's highlight reel, to someone's just what they want to share with you, which usually is not all of the things that they should be sharing about what happened, like that's literally the worst fucking thing. It's so bad. I do it all the time. It's awful. So my little piece of my New Year's resolution, should we say, it's currently January as we're filming this, but you'll hear this in March. So we'll see how it's going. My resolution is to be a little bit more real specifically on Facebook. I know nobody is on Facebook anymore, but some people are. And I feel like I owe it to those people to not be so, everything is perfect and whatever. I think that if we can all share a little bit more about like our day-to-day, it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be, too honest or whatever, but even just saying like, I'm proud of myself for pushing through a really tough day today. Or like, not everything is as it seems. Honestly, we're getting shit done, but like it's hard. And like sitting behind a computer all day and clickety-clacking away, I feel like it does take a toll on people and it sucks. But at the end of the day, I think we all need to be a little bit more honest. I think we all need to be a little bit more real. And with that, we will find a greater sense of community because everyone can connect with something like that. I feel like we all have had our struggles, whether it's depression, mental health, anything else. We all have felt socially anxious or just, inadequate in some way. Like, don't fucking lie, everyone has. But if we started sharing that, I feel like we would have more connection with each other. We would feel less of this comparison mindset. I think that is so important, especially with people who have bigger platforms. Like, I'm so fucking sick of seeing all of these like girl boss CEO things that are just like everything is great and everything is fine and I'm doing wonderful. It's like you don't see the other side of that. So as a self-proclaimed girl boss CEO, here I am telling you that it's not all pixie dust and rainbows. I own a princess company, by the way, if you didn't know. Yeah, it's not all behind the magic, sparkles in our eyes. Like, we cry, we have moments that suck and clients that suck. And, our industry is so weird that we're like, we have to be this pixie dust and rainbows and sunshine all the time and constantly giving of ourselves. But, it's not always like that. So anyone who has fallen for the like, oh, Sofia like has her shit together, it's a fucking lie. I'm so sorry. It's such a lie. I've had, actually 2024 was one of the worst years of my life. I've had a long time in terms of my mental health and how many times I have had depressive episodes, like actually keeping track of how many times that has happened. But it's also the time that I did the most with my business. So we opened our storefront. We won the 2024 Excellence in Small Business Award from our Chamber of Commerce. Like, that was a crazy moment. And we're starting a nonprofit. Like, we're doing amazing, great, big things. But the flip side of that is I have not been doing so hot. So like, it's such a facade, but I hope that someone can see this and also think, kind of tying this back to Zach's podcast, which was, oh, she wakes up at, 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, she rolls out of bed whenever the fuck. But look at all the shit that she did this year. Look at, and I'm still inspired by all the things that are happening. So there is an upside to sharing your struggles, to sharing when things aren't as wonderful as they may seem. And I think someone may connect even more with that than just seeing the end product, because they'll know how much work it took to get there. And I promise you they'll have even more respect for you if you say, oh, it was really tough to get out of bed this day. Like, I just couldn't, find the motivation to do literally anything. But we did it, and here it is. Here's the finished product. So that's something that I wanted to share. And I'll touch on my journey with mental health in a future episode as well, because there's a lot. There's a lot going on there. But I think it is important, especially for people with depression, because it is so defeating, and it is so, our brain lies to us. If you have anxiety too, same thing. I think seeing people thriving and seeing people still doing things despite having such severe, I have treatment resistant depression. Like, I've been through over 20 different medications. I've had transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is like basically electroshock therapy, twice. But if I can do it, I swear to God, anyone can. Like, if I can overcome this absolute, like, mammoth of an obstacle, you can do anything.
Could I add in something here regarding going back to the imposter syndrome, and whether you want to keep this in or not? This is it's totally up to you. It's neither a male or a female thing. I think it's and this is not knocking the age difference. So for people listening, I am 35. I will be 36 in April. And I started doing what I do 8.5 years ago. And I think as time goes on, the older you get, and you just learn to care less what people think.
That's true.
And you're gonna have some of those aha moments of like, oh yeah, I guess that really wasn't that big of a deal, like when you look back at it. And I think the more you do that, the easier it is to keep the gears going, and it doesn't feel like you're constantly like at this roadblock, or shit, well, that person's doing that, so that means I have to do that. Like, you just learn to just not care. And I'll tell you, it's so gratifying just to not. Because I know if I cared about what every other production company or digital marketing agency does, and how many of us are out there.
Endless.
I mean, I probably wouldn't even leave my bedroom because I'd be so, like, mortified and terrified. But no, I just like I see it with you and what you do. You have a lot of strengths and you play to them. And I think knowing everybody's got weaknesses, everyone's got strong points and they got weak points, knowing what your weak points are and doing something about it. And I think that's a huge game changer. And it trust me, you feel so much better. So the point being is, you just got to learn how to care less about what else is going on around you and all the fake social media buzz that's going on. Like, you just got to do you, and then that's what you're doing, and it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I think to that point of, we just all need to collectively care less, like, straight up. But I think it is hard when you're constantly being bombarded by this stuff, that it does get into your brain. It does, like, even subconsciously, you're comparing to people that you see. I do it all the time, either whether it's with the Princess Company or with my career as an actor. I see, oh, she just booked, the whole season of Summer Stock. Like, she just booked whatever. She's on a national tour. Like, this stuff is so, and not to say that, like, you shouldn't share your wins. Please fucking share your wins. But I think just as the way that we look at it as an outsider, I think we need to collectively just, like, take a deep breath and reassure ourselves that we're exactly where we're supposed to be at this point in time. And if we're working hard behind the scenes, we keep showing up, things will happen. in its right place, right time. Like, it will happen if it's meant to happen. And I feel like that's been my like little secret for auditions, is like, if it wasn't meant to be, then it's not meant to be, and I'm supposed to learn something here, or this rejection is protecting me from something that I'm not supposed to experience. Like, there are so many things that can be drawn from that, but also I think actually like trusting your own timeline, trusting yourself is so important. And what I was going to say to tie up this little thought about the depression mindset and everything, we, I think, are constantly in perfection mode. Like, we're constantly told, level up for 2025, or like my winter arc, or whatever the fuck. Like, how about just like my winter, however it is now? Like, and not to say that, again, huge disclaimer, I am not saying that you should not be constantly bettering yourself or have goals or have things. I have so many goals that I want to achieve this year, but I think it's worth it to just like take a step back and look at what we've already achieved. Because honestly, I did that like a couple months ago. And just for backstory, I started my princess company when I was a sophomore in college. So I was literally in my dorm room, like applying for my LLC. And I had wrote down just like a bunch of like short-term goals, long-term goals, like 5-year goals. We're almost at the 5-year mark, which is really scary. But I looked at those goals. I had achieved every single one of them. And I didn't even realize it because I wasn't looking back enough. And I was like, I'm constantly looking to the next thing. Girl, you had exactly what that 19-year-old wanted so bad. You fucking did it in less than that time. And I didn't even slow down for one fucking second to see that I had done that. Like, that's the craziest thing, is that it's not about constantly bettering yourself, which you can do. It's about, you know, why are we chasing the next best thing without even taking a step back to see what we've already built? Me, like the 19-year-old, if you told the 19-year-old 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, that she would be having a podcast, that she would be sitting in a storefront that she made, that she built. We built this flower wall with a hot glue gun and a dream. Like, me and my admin team, literally this entire thing behind me, we built that. Like, all of this stuff, we'll do a little B-roll something after, but like, it's beautiful. And if you had told that 19-year-old that she had done all this stuff, I would have an aneurysm. Like, I would go into shock. I would never have fucking believed you. But I think that like this whole narrative of, you know, 75 hard, like we need to constantly be doing something or whatever. It's like, I'm going to say something controversial yet brave. This is so toxic. This is a little bit toxic, to be honest with you. I think that especially people who deal with their mental health struggles, we need to be okay where we are just for like 2 seconds. I mean, it's gotten us this far, like straight up. You've survived 100% of your worst days. There's got to be something to that. And it's okay to want to do more things and be better, but only if you have actually taken that step and looked back at what you've already done. So like, give yourself permission, give yourself a little pat on the back before you start looking forward to the next thing, because I almost lost sight of that. I really did. So yeah. And write a little letter to your future self 5 years from now, because it might make for a cute little moment that I also had a couple months ago. So yeah, but take care of yourself. That's pretty much my little philosophy, is just, we need to look back before we look forward, just for a second. Just think about it, soul search about it, and then we can do your 75 hard, do your wake up at 5 a.m., whatever, your winter arc, whatever the fuck. I give you full permission, but think about your past self for a little bit first too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it for this session of the Slumber Party. I hope that we all had a little something to think about, little girl talk. I certainly had fun. I love to yap, but I hope that it gives you a little bit of food for thought, that you are important. You have done great things at whatever you're doing so far. has gotten you to this point. You deserve your successes, whatever that may be, big or small. Be a little bit more real when you can. Even if it's not sharing on social media, just talk to people about how you're doing. Honestly, being open about my mental health has been a struggle, but it's also been extremely rewarding because I've been able to connect with people on a deeper level. So go with connection first, and let's bring down our social media walls just a little bit. But that's going to do it for this first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also going to be on Spotify, so we're going to have video and audio on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Give us a like. We'd love that. Also follow us on Instagram at @SLUMBERPARTY _. All of the links will be tagged below. But thank you so much for giving me 30 minutes of your day. I really appreciate it. I think I'm so honored to have people who care about me and care about all the stupid things that come out of my mouth sometimes. But I hope that you got a little something out of it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.